So, beautiful soul. I am coming on today to talk about the thing that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to identity shifting. Um, Backtrack a little bit, actually. This is more about what happens behind the scenes of those massive celebrations that you see in the online space and how what happens is actually a complete recalibration. And it's very easy to see in this day and age in the online space where everyone's getting very visible, sharing all of their wins and all of the incredible things that they're doing to feel like you're behind. And I just want you for a second to just take a breath and realize that that is a highlight reel. What you are seeing in the online space is very much a highlight reel of what that person is creating. But what you don't see is what it took for that person to get to where they are now. Now, in any kind of celebration or win in your business and also in your life as well, there has had to be a like an identity shift that happens to become that person, because those results don't come in when you are vibrating at the same frequency of the person that isn't an aligned match for those goals. Like, your goals literally come into reality once you are an aligned energetic match for that frequency. So when you're not quite there yet, when you're not quite celebrating the goals that you want to be calling in, when you're not quite hitting the mark in terms of the income or maybe the clients or whatever it is in your business, what is happening right now is you're not quite an energetic match for the things you want to be calling in. And I know there will be people that listen to this now and think, well, I'm doing all the things, I'm doing all the mindset work, I've got the strategy, I've got the coach, I've got the mentor, I'm doing the course, doing all the things, and things just aren't working. Everything feels really hard. And I want you to just take a moment and realize that this is not an instant thing. And yes, in terms of the laws of attraction and manifestation, actually, when you are an energetic match for something, you literally can attract it instantly. But what I want to talk about today is those of you that are in that point where you're not quite where you want to be, that you are in a transition phase. You're not lost. What you are in right now is a growth or like a recalibration stage before your next era really clicks into place. Because what happens when you're at a point where you're not quite attracting in the results that you want, but you've probably created bigger results in the last few months or the last year, whatever, than you had previously? The thing that's happened is you've outgrown who you were, because the person you were when you had those results before, you're probably not the same person as you were back then. So you've probably worked on investing in things that will help you to grow. You've invested in your time and energy in terms of really embodying a next level version of yourself, but you haven't fully stepped into that person that you're becoming yet, the person that is fully aligned to the results on your vision board that you have. And when you're in this point, and I talk about this right now because I am in exactly the same point, because every single new level in your business is very much new level, new devil. And this place that you're in right now can feel so confusing, both emotionally and physically, and it's very unsteady and it's quite frankly exhausting. But this is also like your doorway to absolute clarity in what it is that you're doing. And I want you to know today that you're not doing anything wrong. You're absolutely not failing. You are not behind. You're not lacking any form of direction. What you're in right now is what I would call a rebirth. And rebirth, that recalibration stage in your business, in growing your brand, is always a place where it might feel like chaos. And it might also feel like things can't possibly get any worse. I'm not quite at that stage yet, but I know that normally happens just before the click. How many times in your career have you just thought to yourself, and I know this has happened to me many, many times before, I don't know how I'm going to afford to pay that outgoing. I literally don't know how I'm going to afford to pay that thing that goes out like tomorrow or in 2 days or whatever. Something always comes in just at the right time. And it is always at that point when I'm like, do you know what? I can't do anything about it. I'm just going to accept and trust that things are going to work out. And the second you shift that frequency, that you go into, instead of trying to force and hustle and chase, and you go into the trusting and just knowing that it's just what it is. Once you do that, you're literally becoming an energetic match to call in what it is that you want. So whether it is that sudden, like out of the blue booking that comes in, or a refund, or some random thing that will come in literally just at the right time. So I want you to know that you are in that rebirth and the chaos part just before everything clicks into place. Now, what I want you to know is if you've been listening to this podcast a while and you've been on a journey of self-development and you've been on a journey of real growth, maybe you've made some big scary investments this year, maybe you have stripped away anything in your business or life that drains you, that feels like you're being boxed in, that isn't aligned to who you're becoming, or anybody or anything that is you feel like is keeping you small or that keeps you hustling, that is keeping you maybe tied to those low paying or low level clients and is just helping you to repeat those old patterns. What I want you to know is you've been stripping away all of this. Maybe you still have some work to do in terms of the stripping away everything that you feel like you need to do. And it really is a shedding stage. It's the do everything Jackie stage identity. Like that's what I would call it. So I'm literally, when I go through those periods in my business growth, it's always I'm trying to do everything. I'm trying to do all of these things. And actually you then go from the doing everything to stepping into the powerful, the discerning, the high value mentor, creator, healer, whatever it is that you are. It's when you step into that. But when you're going through that transition of the two, your brain hasn't quite caught up with the upgrade yet. But the thing is, when you embody that version of you, when you can feel it in your body might have actually already upgraded. Maybe your nervous system is regulated enough. I say regulated because actually your nervous system isn't going to be regulated all the time. Every single time you scale, your nervous system will not be regulated. It's not a normal thing to have a fully regulated nervous system at all times. It's just never going to happen. But your body might have shifted into that upgraded version of you, but your brain maybe hasn't quite caught up yet, which is why you're then second guessing, which is why you might be feeling confused or frustrated that things aren't working right now. So maybe right now you're trying to be that version of yourself, but it could also be that you're actually carrying the negative energy from where you've been, maybe even where you are right at this moment in time. So this could be anything in terms of like working from that wounded feminine energy. If you've faced any form of like rejection, if things haven't gone to plan, maybe you've done a launch that didn't work, maybe you're carrying debt, maybe you're trying to force clarity under pressure. And the thing I want you to know is literally no one would have clarity in where it is that they're going with this level of pile up, with this level of the energetic drain that you currently have. And it doesn't mean that you're confused. It means that you've been trying to hold too many like categories essentially of yourself at once. So we all have different, what I would call categories of our own self, of the version of ourself. Categories, when I talk about that, I mean jobs, essentially. Jobs, mindset, beliefs, everything. You're carrying all of that all at once. And guess what? You don't need to choose right now a clear, like a one path. You get to choose multiple different paths and you get to pivot as well. You get to play and have fun because as women, we will attract and magnetize more abundance into our life. And remember, when I talk about abundance, I'm not talking just about money. I'm talking about the love, the connections, the friends, the freedom, everything, abundance in all areas. You will literally attract that once you are embracing your most fun, confident, aligned version of who you are. You do not need to choose a forever lane. So if you feel like you're at a point in your business where maybe you're doing multiple things, or maybe you're looking to launch multiple things and you're not quite sure which path to go down or which path to focus on, you don't need to pick any one. Choose one or even two that feel the most exciting, because when we are embracing fun, when we are really embodying that feminine energy and we're doing something that really does light us up, and that might not necessarily be the thing that might attract the most money or create the biggest impact. It will be the thing that really lights us up the most. So what is it of those different paths that you're looking to take that feels really energetically fun for you? Go and do that, because when you're doing something that lights you up, that feels fun, you're going to attract things so much quicker. Equally, if you've got a path that you want to go down, that you know there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of, it's not like an immediate thing, it's a lot of work that you need to put into it before you're going to see any form of result. Just put that to one side for a moment. When you're in this point, when you just feel you're in that overwhelmed state of frustration and feeling like maybe you're a little bit stuck or you're not quite taking that next step, focus on the things that are going to help you to shift your frequency. Because as soon as you do that, you will then start to attract the results. It's going to give you more time, more energy, more flexibility, more kind of focus on the other areas. So it's basically, if you think about the domino effect, which I forget where this comes from now, but I know I've heard this multiple times from various coaches over the years. When you focus on your different dominoes, so your dominoes are all of the different goals that you've got. If you think about focusing on one at a time, when you focus on one, that will naturally start to knock down the other dominoes. So let's just say in your life right now, maybe you are feeling that you're perhaps not having the healthiest food in the world. Maybe you're not doing enough exercise. Maybe you've just not made that a priority to really focus on you and putting yourself first. Maybe that is your first domino. It might not be, but it might be your first domino. Maybe that is your first domino, is focusing on your health, your well-being. So when you focus on that one, maybe your second domino is then having the confidence to show up more on social media. So when you focus on that first domino, guess what's going to happen? You are going to feel better in your body. You're going to look better because your skin will be glowy because you've been really looking after yourself and making yourself a priority. That is then going to give you the more confidence, which will mean you're then going to be showing up on social media more. So instead of having kind of these spider web diagram ideas and all of these different things that you need to be doing and the massive long to-do list, focus on one goal that is going to shift your frequency. So it doesn't even have to be business related. Focus on the thing that is going to shift your energy, that will allow you to hit that next domino goal. And one exercise that you can do that I would highly recommend you do actually is to write down all your domino goals. So this could be focusing on all the areas of things that are feeling a bit like off at the moment. Maybe you know you need to be doing more in these different areas. So it could be your own well-being and wellness. Maybe it is your mindset. Maybe you need to be doing more work on your mindset, whether that is visualization, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's breath work, maybe it is doing EFT tapping, whatever it is. Think about all these different things you need to do. Maybe you've dropped the ball in doing things like your podcast recordings. Maybe you've dropped the ball in being consistent on social media. Maybe you want to be visible on LinkedIn and you've not really tapped into that yet. Perhaps you want to do public speaking. Maybe you want to invest in a coach that is going to help you with your speaking. Maybe you want to do more in-person stuff. Maybe you want to book more holidays. Like whatever it is in your life, it could be your home, it could be your home environment, it could be I need to sort my desk out. It could be I need to sort the bedroom out. I need to decorate that room. That room is draining my energy. We've got that leaking tap under the sink. Like all of these different things are all domino goals that you need to focus on, because when you hit down each one, it's going to naturally knock down the next one or help you to knock down the next one. So think of it as like a linear path in terms of those dominoes being lined up, rather than all these crazy different lines that are sprouting out everywhere. I'm a very visual person, so I can literally like imagine all of these lines coming off of my body with all of these different to-do things that I need to do, and it can feel so chaotic. So just simplify it. And if you need to, write down your linear goals list, write down your dominoes. You can even draw a rectangle down it. Let's just picture it as being an actual domino and cover them up. Cover all of them up apart from the first one. Put a piece of paper over it. Maybe you want to put individual post-it notes on each domino so you can literally peel it off as and when you're going through them once you've done the first one. Make it really clear so your brain is going to be fully focused on that one thing. And when you then have this kind of clarity in terms of what you're focusing on, you're going to feel so much less overwhelmed with all of your to-do list. You're going to feel less confused. You're going to feel so much clearer in where it is that you're going. And this is what I'm talking about with the identity shift, because it feels chaotic as hell. I promise you, every single person that you see in the online space shouting about their incredible wins, no matter what level they're at, whether they are just scaling to their first 4-figure month or they're scaling to their first 7-figure month, whatever level they're at, they have all had to identity shift to get to that point. Now, I want you to be really clear on one thing. If you take anything away from this episode today, I want you to be really clear on one thing. What does your dream life and dream business look like? Now, if you do nothing else today or even this week in terms of scaling and taking the next step, I would love you to just think about this. You could journal, maybe you want to voice note it to yourself, maybe you want to just go and do a meditation or visualization on this. But I want you to really think clearly, take away all the noise, just come off of the screen, close your eyes, really listen and sit with your own thoughts with this. And I want you to really think, like, what does my dream life and dream business look like? What am I doing? How am I living my life? What am I wearing? Who am I surrounded by? What decisions am I making? What does my lifestyle look like? How am I spending my days? What am I doing in my day? Because when you can start to really visualize that in your life, you can then start to make decisions that are fully aligned to you and where you're going. And it cuts out all of that external noise from everywhere else. Because when you're in that chaotic, energetic, identity shifting upgrade of your life, which happens all the time, every single time you're upgrading your business or your life, like this is what is going to happen. It's really about shedding. Like, we are in the year of the snake. So it's natural that I'm hearing so many conversations from people feeling like they feel a bit lost. They've kind of cut themselves away from certain areas. Maybe they have dropped offers. Maybe they're launching new offers. It's a real shedding season this year in particular. And I want you to really know that this is just part of the journey. And you're going to go through this again. I promise you. You're going to go through this shedding again, because new level, new devil, it happens at every single stage. And you can absolutely choose not to. You can choose to stay, but then you have to remind yourself, if you choose to stay where you are, just know that other people around you will kind of overtake, and that may then trigger another response in you that could make you feel frustrated, overwhelmed, like it's not fair. But you have to remember that when you are scaling and you're moving and you're doing that next thing, that is going to help you to create a much bigger impact. Like, the online space changes and evolves all the time. We've got AI now. That is only going to get bigger and better. So if you can continuously focus on your dream life, your dream business, and the impact you are here to create, you can then consistently evolve, which is what we're all doing at all times. It's in our human nature. It's in every single living species. Like, we're all evolving all the time. We have to, because that is the whole thing in survival. We're not going to survive if we don't evolve. But this whole evolution happens so fast, particularly in the world of business. Like, it happens so fast. So what might happen over like thousands of years in terms of like physical evolution happens like within a few months or even a year or something, when it comes to actually growing a business. So I want you to know this is all part of it. It can feel scary, it can feel frustrating, it can feel overwhelming and chaotic and all the things, but just know all of those people you see on social media that are celebrating their wins have all been through it. I promise you. There is not one person you see celebrating an incredible win, whether that is a big launch, an award win, a PR feature, whatever, that has not gone through this shedding and this identity shift at every level. If you are at the very beginning stages of your business right now, and you are looking at somebody that's been doing their business for 20, 30 years, that is hitting consistent 7 figures in their business, and you're comparing yourself with where they are now, just stop that. Just stop that shit right now. Because that is just you going to be self-sabotaging and saying you're never going to be there, you're never going to make it to that, like it's not fair. Like, how have they got to that? They've got to that because they've consistently identity shifted, they've consistently evolved, they've consistently upgraded, they've consistently worked over or on their limiting beliefs. Because limiting beliefs is never a done thing, ever. You can overcome a limiting belief and then move on, but then there'll be another limiting belief that comes up, and it might even be stemmed from the same thing. It could be from past life, it could be generational. Whatever it is, there are going to be limiting beliefs that you have at every single upgrade in your business and in your life. But you've got to really think about, what does your dream life and dream business look like? Forget what everybody else is doing. Forget everybody else's framework. Forget everybody else's wins, results, what they're doing, the impact they're creating, the award wins, the features, all of that. What do you want? And I want you to really sit with that today or over the next couple of days and think really clearly, what do you want? Write it down, do a vision board on this very thing. Because once you do that, not only is this going to give you more clarity in where you're going, but it's also going to help you to make aligned decisions in your business. It helps you to make aligned decisions based on what support is best fitted to you. Whether that is a evergreen course that you can work at that is self-paced, whether that is a live course where you get access through a group program with somebody. Maybe it is you want one-to-one mentoring because you just know that one-to-one works better for you. Maybe you need to just join a community that is for your kind of next level version of you, that level of client. Maybe you need to watch some YouTube videos. Maybe you need to spend more time working on the embodiment piece. Maybe you need to focus on the inward identity shift so that you can then show up with more confidence externally. This is why I always talk about inside out branding and being that next level version of you. It starts with you. Do not come to me because you know you've outgrown your branding and you want a new website. Don't come to me for that. Come to me because you know you've outgrown who you're showing up as and you're ready to embody that next level version of you. And we're going to create that next level version of you through your identity, through your confidence, through your limiting beliefs, through you embodying that version of you. And then we'll work on the branding and the website that is an aligned match for where you're going. Not even the person you are now or the person you're becoming, but the person you are going to be in the future. Because when you do that, you're going to start bringing in the results that are on your vision board. You cannot attract the results on your vision board unless you are becoming an energetic match for those results. They're just not going to happen. They will repeatedly be showing up on every year's vision board and not actually coming into your reality if you are not energetically aligned to those things. But the very first thing is really focusing on, what do you want? So I'm going to leave you with that today, because that's all I want you to think about is, what do I want? What do I want? What am I here to create? Forget all the noise, forget all the stuff that you've heard, forget all the stuff you've learned, forget everything. Just think, what do I want? And I want you to think big, like, what does that big dream look like? And then I want you to really think, okay, once I have that, what does my day look like? What am I doing? What kind of person am I? How am I spending my days? What am I doing? What am I eating? What am I doing for exercise? Like, how am I taking care of myself? But what do you want? I want you to really sit with that today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Cannot wait for the next episode. We're going to be talking all around confidence online and actually showing up with confidence when it comes to creating video content for your brand. So if you can do this practice today or before the next episode comes out, on really thinking about what it is that you want and getting clear on where you're going. And then we're going to be looking into having confidence showing up online on camera in the next episode. Hope you've enjoyed this. Please leave a review if you've enjoyed this episode. Feel free to send me a message if this was really aligned to you and you needed to hear this today. I'm always around in my DMs if you want to drop me a message. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Mwah.